Hey, Tracy here. Thank you for joining me today. So, I've been reading off and on I Am That, and it's a question and answer, and I'm going to probably butcher this name. He was an Indian sage, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, and he was self actualized. He kind of understood how the world worked. And as I go through the book, it's not an easy read to like sit and just breeze through. You sit and read it and kind of have the words absorb and kind of think on them, meditate on them, feel them in your heart. And I want to like pull quotes and talk about them and how they relate to the universe and how life works and how we operate within the universe. So, our first one today, um, one of his answers was your mind projects a structure and you identify with it. So that's like saying, I'm Tracy. I am a mom. I am this. I am that. We have all these made up constructs that we believe we are that, identifying with the 3D. And that doesn't mean we aren't playing those roles in this lifetime. What that means is we are greater than these roles we seem to be playing in this lifetime. We are beyond the 3D and what we see. We are nameless, formless. We are part of all that is. So when you're thinking, oh, I'm just this, oh, I'm just that, you're limiting who you truly are and your true nature as a co creator with the universe. So let me continue. It is in the nature of desire to prompt the mind to create a world for its fulfillment. For everything, does come from desire. We manifest based off contrast, what we want, what we don't want. Even a small desire can start a long line of action. What about a strong desire? Desire can produce a universe, just as Source created not only our universe, but all the everything, everything that could be dreamed up started with the desire, the intention. Um, its powers are miraculous. Just as a small matchstick can set a huge forest on fire, so does the desire light the fires of manifestation. The very purpose of creation is the fulfillment of desire. The desire may be noble or ignoble. Space is very neutral. One can fill it with what one likes. You must be very careful as to what it is you desire. And as to the people you want to help, they are in their respective worlds for the sake of their desires. There is no way of helping them except through their desires. You can only teach them to have right desires so that they may rise above them and be free from the urge to create and recreate worlds of desire, abodes of pain and pleasure. So, what he's saying, in simple terms, is how we co-create is from desire. So I desire Jeff Bezos. I desire to have this online e-commerce store, and it became a strong desire. And so he and Mackenzie, I believe, whatever her name is, the ex-wife, started creating this and going after it and building it and working with it and following and flowing that energy. The energy started flowing to them, and so they got in the flow and built this empire of this e-commerce store. Same thing with all these other people, that Thomas Edison and Albert Einstein. They all created like all this stuff. They had an idea and went forward trial after trial. They just kept trying and trying, and their belief was very strong. So it's saying, and it kind of goes back to um, the Bible, which is often misinterpreted from its true meaning, but like, don't covet your neighbor's house or something. That's your neighbor's creation. So you may love their house or their wife, or oh, I love, she's so beautiful or he's so handsome. I'd love to have her in my, and think about dating. But that's not your path. That's their path. So what you're trying to do is create in your highest and greatest good. You're moving outside of belief of I am this, I am broke. So because the universe aims to please you. So everything you say and believe keeps coming back to you. And the more you say it and believe, because everything's energy and vibration, you start attracting more of that energy and vibration to you. And it creates your reality, and it starts to filter around. So you can't change what other people's realities are because they create their reality. You can only create your reality. So it's saying make sure to be mindful of your desires. Try not to desire greed at the expense of others, because there's enough resource. We're all the creators of our reality. So everything is in abundance because everything is all that is. So when you're desiring whatever, say you want a partner in life, your goal or your purpose should not be I have to have this person or I have to have this, because then you start blocking up the energy. You dream of what qualities would I love to see in a partner, and you just have fun with it. We're here to play and have fun and grow. Things will not always be easy, but you imagine what it would be like to have this ideal partner, and you say, oh, but you let it go. You say, for the highest and greatest good, I want to attract this. So you don't identify with, oh, I'm this person and I can only attract this person in this way. You're so much bigger than this. So you want to not limit yourself by what your mind tells you. You want to recognize you're not in this container. You are all that is, and to work with that energy. So when you truly desire and want to manifest something in your life, that again goes back to, if you've watched my High Priestess and the card series, it's what do you truly want? Because you can say, oh, I'd love to be a millionaire and have all this money. It would solve all my problems. But would it solve your problems? Because money brings a whole host of other problems. Oftentimes, when people say, I'd love to have money, what they're truly saying is, I'd love to have the freedom to not have to worry about living, and I want to be able to go out and create the life freely that I want, because that's a whole nother video about how everything's set up the opposite way from the way the universe wanted it to be. Because it should not be. We should not be here with our talents forced to fit into a neat box. But that's beside the point. We don't have to be. There's plenty of people who have learned how to create the life, and they have recognized, I'm not going to fit in this. I don't want to do this. And they start imagining, and they start allowing the doors to open to create the life that they want to. So he's saying, just watch your desires so you don't attract what's not for you. Don't say, I'm going to be da 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 da, and box yourself into something that might not be for your highest and greatest good. Because not everyone's here to be billionaires and millionaires and win the lottery or this. All you need is to, some people are here to trust, and maybe they don't have all the fancy things, but they don't need that. That's not their soul lesson and what their soul wanted to experience in this lifetime. So their job may be to trust that everything they need and want is going to flow in at the right time, and to trust the guidance of the universe to open those doors to get them where they need to go and what they need to pay their rent or mortgage, and to feed them and clothe them and house them. Because so often we get so fear-based because we're in the 3D, we're locked in this container. Oh, my rent is due in 5 days and I don't have the money. And for the next 5 days, you start stressing about all this money, and you limit and block and dam up the flow of the abundance that the universe wants to send you. They want to send you the money to pay your rent so you can live. And another way we kind of get locked in, we desire for something to come along that looks like a certain way. Well, the beauty of the universe is its infinite intelligence. So the universe can send in what you need and want in so many ways that you cannot imagine. And that's the beauty of the journey, is knowing that it's out of your hands, and it's more fun to trust how things arrive in such a fun surprise. So as you, and I'll talk about manifestations more, but as you go about, your day, and you're like, start stressing or think, I'm stuck in this dead end job and I hate my job and I'll never get to this, you're starting to lock yourself in that container, and your desire is the not enoughness, and you're focused on things that you don't want. The desire has to be where what you're building, and knowing, say your desire is to open up clothing shop. I don't know, clothing shop. I have this clothing shop. I know it's mine. You start feeling, what does that feel like in your body? And you become that, because we are anything we want to be within reason. Again, some things fit, some things do not fit your soul blueprint in this lifetime. So it's working with the universe to know what exactly your purpose, and trusting those doors to open. But you start desiring those things that align with you, and that again comes where meditation comes in, sitting and quietly and feeling in to where you want to go and what you want to do, and what, and just not limiting yourself to whatever container that the 3D tells you that you're boxed into, because we are so much more than that. And so it's following that desire to move to where your heart and soul want to go, not where maybe your mom wants you to go, your parents, your kids, your spouse, wherever they're telling you, but to know your inner truth of where you're meant to go, and knowing that you're not what you see. Because you can say, well, Tracy, I can't get there. And I do this too, obviously. I mean, I've got things that I want to do, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do it with the kids and all this other stuff. Life, we are still humans in this incarnation living life. So it sometimes takes a while for what we think, what we're trying to manifest to actually show up, so we can get frustrating. So it's realizing that we have unlimitless potential to really change our life. And we get so locked in on what we see and what we think is the path forward, it affects our desire. Because so say you want this, but you're convinced you can't have this because you can only see that way to this. So it's realizing that you're not just this, you're all of this, and you can truly get to this, but it might not be the way you think that it can be. So it's truly starting to listen to your intention to go on the fool's journey, and you have the unlimited potential. Then you become the magician to create, and then listening to your intuition to guide you to that. So it's always, mindfulness is the best part to get there. Being mindful of your thoughts, of what you're telling yourself. So many people I talk to are so mean to themselves. They really tell themselves horrible things. I'm not worthy. I can't date this person. I'm not good enough. I should have more money. Quit doing that. Quit doing that. I mean, please stop doing that. You are like perfect the way you came in. Everything that you see is God, source, the creation of all. So why would you not think that you're worth more? That goes into shadow work, and you have to start loving yourself. So again, the more you say all that negative stuff to you, that puts out a desire for that, the lack, and you keep attracting that. So really desire love and more, and service, and to be a connection with all, because we're here to provide our unique gifts to the world and be of service, and to co-create and grow and expand. And we're just God, source, the creator, whatever you believe all that is just having fun. We're here to experience. Now I know you're probably saying, Tracy, sometimes things are not fun. Of course they're not. We are in this human body, and it's really hard on this planet. I'm not gonna lie. This planet is this planet's quite a little much, but we're all in it together. And again, we can transcend what we see, and we're not boxed into being what we think we are. So it's really being mindful of how you talk to yourself, what you desire, where you want to go, and then again, trusting that high priestess to allow the things to come up at the right time to guide you, to allow the right people to come in, the right doors, desiring the right things. And that's where being aligned with who you truly are inside, and what you came for in this lifetime, because we're all very special beings, and that gets lost with so many. So we have to really show ourselves love and compassion, and then we can show it out to others. And that's what so many people are missing, and that's why so many people put their trauma on display, and act out in so much anger and hate and judgment and fear and lack, because they have missed the beauty of themselves and their soul, and they're disconnected with the perfection of who they truly are inside. So as you go about your day, just make sure you're mindful of what you tell yourself and how you feel. And if you start deriding yourself or desiring something that's not truly aligned, you can feel it in your body and be like, no, that just doesn't feel right. I'm just going to let that go and see what I'm supposed to, which way I'm actually supposed to go, and let that flow into you. The whole point is to allow the energy to flow in. I won't keep going on. I've got another story that I'll talk about some other time, where I was blocking up the energy for something I truly, truly, truly wanted. And when I finally let go and said, I just, whatever, if I'm supposed to have it, I'll have it, I allowed it to flow in. And the way it flowed in was something I never, ever, ever would have expected it to flow in that way. It was truly a miracle from the universe of how it unfolded. And that's what we all have to realize. So truly, it's going within, listening, and aligning yourself with your highest and greatest truth, and knowing you're far better than what you may tell yourself or believe that you are. You're perfection. You are God. You're the creation of Source. We're all just God experiencing life. So let yourself go and have fun with it and love yourself. And from there, we can truly start to love others and help others. And then we can all have, better lives and more aligned lives that get us, what we truly need and want. But thank you, and sorry for my rant, but I love this book, and I'm going to continue talking about different things and how we can truly work with the universe and listen to our intuition and align and get more in tune with who we are and what we're needing and wanting, and listening to our higher selves to get us there. So I hope you have a great day. Please like, subscribe. If you've got questions, comments, please reach out and I'll be glad to help answer anything that I can. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.